December 14, 2014, from Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego, California. It was the Denver Broncos at the San Diego Chargers in this AFC West division rivalry matchup. The Chargers won the toss and they elected to defer, so the Broncos would get the ball first. They would start on their own 34. With their first possession, they were faced with a 2nd and 1 from the 43. C.J. Anderson ended up getting stuffed for no gain, but there was a penalty against the San Diego Chargers for offsides. So now it would be a first down for the Broncos on the 48. But they would end up getting stopped there, as they would end up having to punt it from the 43. So after 4 plays, the Broncos punted it to the Chargers. So now the Chargers would take over with less than 12 minutes in the first. They had the ball on their own 28. They would fail to get a first down, so they would go 3 and out as they would punt it from the 28. So now the Broncos would take back over for their second possession of the game. They had it on their own 31, less than 11 minutes on the clock in the first. They were faced with a 2nd and 5 from the 36. C.J. Anderson, after picking up 5 yards on first down, picked up another 6, which made it a first down on the 42. And on first down from the 42, Peyton Manning hit Demaryius Thomas for a 36-yard reception and a first down that brought the ball across midfield into the San Diego 22. Then on 2nd and 5 from the 17, Peyton Manning hit C.J. Anderson for an 8-yard reception and a first down on the 9, which made it 1st and goal. Anderson then ran for 8 yards to bring it to the 1, but on 2nd and 3rd and goal from the 1, 2 incomplete passes would bring out Barth on 4th and goal from the 1 to attempt a 19-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, and the Broncos put the first points on the scoreboard in this game with the score Denver 3, San Diego 0. So now the Chargers would start with the ball on their own 24 for the next possession. There was less than 7 minutes on the clock in the first, and the Chargers would end up going 3 and out as they punted from the 29. So now the Broncos would take over on their own 31 with about 5.5 minutes left on the clock in the first. They were then faced with a 3rd and 10 from the 31. Peyton Manning hit Wes Welker for an 11-yard reception, which brought the ball to the 42 for the first down. Then on 3rd and 4 from the 48, Peyton Manning was sacked by Ingram. He forced the fumble, ended up being recovered by Vasquez, and there ended up being a defensive holding penalty against the Chargers. So now it was a first down for the Broncos on the San Diego 46. So they got sacked and fumbled the ball, but they ended up with the first down. And then on 3rd and 6 from the 42, Peyton Manning hit Demaryius Thomas for a 30-yard reception and a first down that brought the ball to the red zone on the San Diego 12. Then on first down, C.J. Anderson got stopped for just a yard, and the first quarter came to a close. So after 1 quarter of play, the score was Denver 3, San Diego 0. So now to begin the second quarter, the Broncos had the ball on the San Diego 11. It was 2nd and 9. And Peyton Manning hit C.J. Anderson for a 3-yard pass. Then an incomplete pass made it 4th and 6 from the 8. And so Barth came out to attempt his second field goal of the game. This one from 26 yards out. It was up, it was good. And the score was now Denver 6, San Diego 0. So now the Chargers would start with the ball on their own 20 for the next possession with about 14.5 minutes left in the second quarter. They were faced with a 3rd and 2 from the 28. Phillip Rivers hit Keenan Allen for a 6-yard reception that made a first down on the San Diego 34. Then on 2nd and 3 from the 41, Brown ran for 7 yards and the first down that brought the ball to the San Diego 48. Phillip Rivers then hit Antonio Gates for a 15-yard reception and a first down on the Denver 37. Then on 3rd and 4 from the 31, Phillip Rivers went to Brown for a 16-yard reception that made a first down on the 15 in the red zone for the Chargers in Denver territory. They wouldn't be able to get another first down as they actually ended up getting an interference penalty followed by a personal foul penalty, which would end up making it 2nd and 31 and an incomplete pass, and then followed by just an 8-yard run, would bring out Nick Novak to attempt a 46-yard field goal. It was up, and it was no good. So the score remained Denver 6, San Diego 0. So now the Broncos would have the ball on their own 36 after the missed field goal with 7 minutes left before halftime. They're then faced with a 2nd and 10 from the 36, and Peyton Manning hit Emmanuel Sanders for a 12-yard reception, a first down that brought the ball to the 48. Then on 2nd and 4 from the 46 of San Diego, Peyton Manning dropped back and he hit Demaryius Thomas for a 29-yard reception that made it a first down in the red zone for the Broncos on the San Diego 17. Then on 3rd and 2 from the 9, Peyton Manning hit Emmanuel Sanders for an 8-yard reception, a first down that made it 1st and goal on the 1. Then Thompson got stuffed for no gain, and Anderson got stuffed for no gain, and the game went to the 2-minute warning. So now coming out of the 2-minute warning, it was 3rd and goal on the 1, and C.J. Anderson punched it in for the touchdown. But they ended up reviewing it, and they reviewed that he didn't break the plane, and so it was reversed. And so now it was 4th down on the 1, 4th and goal, and out would come Connor Barth to attempt his 3rd field goal of the game. This one another 19-yarder, and it was up and good. And the score was now Denver 9, San Diego 0. So now the Chargers would take over with less than 2 minutes left in the first half. They had the ball on their own 20, but after 3 incomplete passes, they would bring out the punting unit. So then the Broncos would get the ball back with about a minute and a half left still on the clock. They had on their own 26, but then an intentional grounding penalty as they had Osweiler in there, and they ended up going with 3 and out, and they would punt the ball from the 24. And so now the Chargers would get the ball back still with about a minute left in the first half. They had on their own, they actually had on the Denver 17 because of a 58-yard return by Eddie Royal on the punt. And so now first down on the red zone for the Chargers. And they ended up having to settle for a field goal as Nick Novak would come out to attempt the 30-yarder. It was up, it was good, and the Chargers put the first points on the scoreboard as they cut the lead to 6 with the score Denver 9, San Diego 3. So now Osweiler would end up taking a knee, and this game went to halftime. So the score at halftime was Denver 9, San Diego 3, and the Chargers would get the ball first to start the second half. They had it on their own 20. They would be faced with a 3rd and 3 from the 27. Phillip Rivers hit Antonio Gates for a 9-yard reception and a first down at the 36. But that's where their drive would end up stalling, as they would have to punt the ball on 4th down. And so now the Broncos would get the ball on their own 27, and they would end up going 3 and out, as they would end up punting it to San Diego from the 34. So now the Chargers had the ball with about 9.5 minutes left in the third. They had it on their own 28. Phillip Rivers hit Antonio Gates for an 11-yard reception and a first down at the 39. Then on 2nd and 13 from the 36, Phillip Rivers hit Branden Oliver for a 17-yard reception and a first down at the Denver 47. Then on 2nd and 15 from the San Diego 48, ended up being a penalty against the Broncos for holding, and it would now be a first down on the 47 for the Chargers. Phillip Rivers then with Eddie Royal, he picked up 20 yards in the first down that brought the ball to the Denver 27, and their drive would end up stalling on the 19, and out would come Nick Novak to attempt a 37-yard field goal. It was up, but it was no good, and so the score remained Denver 9, San Diego 3. So now the Broncos would get the ball with about 4.5 minutes left in the third. They had it on their own 27. Then on 2nd and 3 from the 34, C.J. Anderson picked up 4 yards in the first down. They brought the ball to the Denver 38. And on 2nd and 5 from the 43, C.J. Anderson picked up 8 yards in the first down. They brought the ball to the San Diego 49. And then Stewart ran for 16 yards in the first down at the San Diego 33. There ended up being a penalty of illegal use of the hands against the Chargers. And so now it was first down on the San Diego 28 for the Broncos. Peyton Manning out of the shotgun, drops back, and he hit Demaryius Thomas for a 28-yard touchdown. And now the score was Denver 16, San Diego 3. So now the Chargers will get the ball on their own 20 with about 30 seconds left in the third. And Oliver would bring the third quarter to a close with a run for no gain. So after 3 quarters of play, the Broncos led by 13 with the score Denver 16, San Diego 3. And now to start the fourth quarter, the Chargers would have the ball on their own 20. It was 2nd and 10. Rivers hit Gate for a 7-yard reception that made it 3rd and 3 from the 27. But then a penalty against the Broncos for defensive holding made it a first down for the Chargers on the 32. Branden Oliver then ran for 11 yards in the first down that brought the ball to the 43. Then a penalty against the Broncos would make it a first down on the 49 for the Chargers. And now Phillip Rivers dropped back and he hit Brown for a 17-yard reception that brought the ball to the Denver 32 for the first down. And on 2nd and 9 from the 31, Phillip Rivers went back to Oliver, this time for a 16-yard reception That made it a first down in the red zone on the Denver 15. Then on 3rd and 1 from the 6, Brown ran for a yard to pick up the first down to make it 1st and goal on the 5. Phillip Rivers then went to Antonio Gates for the 5-yard touchdown pass that brought the Chargers to within 6 with the score Denver 16, San Diego 10. And so now Denver would take over with about 10 minutes left on the clock in the quarter. They had it on their own 12. They were faced with a 2nd and 8 from the 14. Peyton Manning then hit Demaryius Thomas for a 10-yard reception, a first down on the 24. Then on 3rd and 12 from the 22, a penalty against the Chargers for pass interference would make it a first down on the Denver 31. Then on 2nd and 8 from the 33, Peyton Manning went to Emmanuel Sanders for a 33-yard reception. It was now first down for the Broncos in San Diego territory on the 34. But then on 3rd down, a holding penalty, would move them back to the 44. And after just picking up 13 yards, they would fall short of the first down, and out would come Connor Barth to attempt a 49-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, and it was now a 9-point lead for the Broncos with the score Denver 19, San Diego 10. So now the Chargers would take over with less than 5 minutes on the clock in this game. They had it on their own 20. And then on 2nd and 7 from the 23, Phillip Rivers dropped back and he was intercepted by Aqib Talib. And so now the Broncos would take over on the San Diego 34 with just over 4 minutes left on the clock. They were then faced with a 3rd and 3, and Anderson would only pick up a yard. And so now out would come Connor Barth to attempt a 44-yard field goal. It was up, it was good, and the Broncos extended their lead to 12 with the score Denver 22, San Diego 10. So now the Chargers would take over with still less than 4 minutes on the clock in this game with the ball on their own 18. And on 2nd and 10, Phillip Rivers hit Floyd for a 17-yard reception. There was an offside penalty against the Broncos. It was declined. This was a first down for the Chargers on their own 35. And on 3rd and 5 from the 40, Phillip Rivers went to Floyd. He picked up 10 yards and a first down at the 50. Then on 3rd and 10 from the 50, Phillip Rivers went to Arotatu, and he picked up 17 yards and a first down on the Denver 33. And on 2nd and 10, a penalty against the Broncos for pass interference would make it 1st and goal on the 7 for the Chargers. Phillip Rivers then dropped back to pass, and he was intercepted by Raheem Moore. And now the Broncos took over with less than 2 minutes, and all that was left to do was for Peyton Manning to take 3 knees as this game came to a close with the final score Denver 22, San Diego 10. And with the win, the Denver Broncos have now clinched the AFC West for the 4th straight year in a row. They have a record of 11-3. They're 4-3 on the road. The Chargers are now 8-6. They're 5-3 at home. And in this game, Peyton Manning was 14 for 20. He had 233 passing yards and a touchdown. Phillip Rivers was 24 for 41 with 232 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. He also had 3 yards on the ground off of 1 carry. The leading rusher in this game was C.J. Anderson. He had 29 yards off it. He had 85 yards off of 29 carries. And he also had 11 yards off of 2 receptions. And the leading receiver was Demaryius Thomas. He had 6 receptions for 123 yards and a touchdown. And the leading rusher for the Chargers was Branden Oliver. He had 12 carries for just 26 yards. And Antonio Gates was the Chargers' leading receiver with 6 receptions for 54 yards. Oliver actually had 44 yards receiving off of 4 carries as well. And on defense, the leading tackler in this game was Eric Weddle of the Chargers. He had 9 tackles, as did Jaleel Adai for the Chargers as well. The leading tackler for the Broncos was Aqib Talib. He had 8 tackles in this game. The Chargers had 1 sack. That lone sack was for Melvin Ingram. The Broncos didn't have any sacks in this game. And the only interceptions were for the Broncos, as Raheem Moore and Aqib Talib each had an interception. So the Broncos defense shuts down the Chargers, keeping them out of the end zone until the 4th quarter and holding them in this game to just 10 points. And the San Diego defense, they held the Broncos to 5 field goals and just 1 touchdown. But that would be enough for the Broncos to win the AFC West for the 4th straight year and win by double digits with the final score Denver 22, San Diego 10.